Supply drop inbound.
What's going on, guys? I'm bringing another Blackout video today. This one is on... I was going to tell you the map. This is using the Swordfish. So check out this little play here. This guy. Man, that was close, huh? So I'm playing with the Swordfish. I saw Optic TP, who I've been watching a lot recently. Basically been watching all of his uploads. I watched him play a game with the Swordfish with a silencer on it. And a 2X, which is like the bane of my existence. I absolutely hate that sight. And so here I am. I just picked it up, and I heard a garage door open to my left. As you can see, there's less than 50 people left. So I've been here for a long time. I've been looting far too long. And here I am, you know, hearing this guy. So I'm like, all right, let's try this. And this is my first time using it. This is my first time even firing it like this. So I've used the Swordfish before. Mainly, I only use the Swordfish when it's an early game. Like, if that's the only gun I drop on and I just need it for a little bit, right until I get something. I mean, I would take... Before this, I would take any gun over the Swordfish. Any AR over the Swordfish. So, yeah, I mean, before this... And then this is a gun that I absolutely never recommend. It's a Hades. It's honestly so bad. It really is. It's one of the worst guns. And the only reason I had it was because that was the only thing I found so far. So, I was going to cut this part out, but... This is just the thing that I've improved on the most just recently within the last week or two is looting. This looting here is absolutely terrible. As you see, important things like sensor darts I can't take, and I'm hoarding all these attachments for other guns because, ironically, the Hades and the Swordfish both only accept a handful of attachments, not the full wide array of attachments, so I just have those sitting in my inventory. And then I pick up the ammo, and I mean, there's a trauma kit, there's a throwable grenade, there's just some stuff that I should be taking. And so I'm looking here like, man, what is going on with all my, what's taking up so much space? And so I look at all this stuff, and I go, okay, maybe I'll drop something like this. Okay, I'm going to pick that back up. I've got some of these barrels. I don't know why I swapped that. That's stupid. But I picked the barrel back up in case I wanted to use it, like in case the Swordfish was so bad with the silencer that I wasn't going to keep it. But... yeah, so that was just horrible looting. Absolutely horrible. As you saw, I got in the bag, took way too long in the bag, and then I got out of the bag and kept dropping things and spent another 60 seconds dropping stuff and then spent another too long of a time in the bag. Same with this part. I left this in just to show you to know your engagement distances. You know, this is a gun I've never used before in this capacity, and certainly not with a silencer, certainly not with it. Well, I'd fired it sometime with a silencer, but certainly not with a 2X. And, I mean, I probably have like an hour total with this gun out of my 12 days of playtime. So, just sort of experimenting around with the distance, but, you know, really the first one was a waste. It was a total waste of bullets. I showed the guy where I was. Just, you know your distances. Obviously, whatever gun you're using, you have to engage at that distance. So here, I'm looking to cook a grenade, and I don't have the right grenade equipped. I have a grapple instead, which is a waste. So, but as you see, look how slow this game was. I only have 2 kills. I showed you both kills. The first one right at the beginning. The second one, less than 50 kills. There's 18 people left. And I only have 2 kills. So I spent this whole time looting. I have not gotten in any fights. Just the 2. And all I did was loot. So, I mean, there's just no, you know, and if I didn't find anything better than a 1 armor, and I never found anything to replace the Hades, I probably forgot I had it. I think I actually was going for an LMG achievement, so I think that's why I kept it. But, you know, this gun was working okay, and at this point, I didn't want to push it any further than I had to. Obviously, I'm still exposed really a lot to my back, and I'm kind of on the edge, and there's fighting up there that I do not want to be a part of. So I'm just going to hang back and sort of wait here and sort of see what my options are. And, you know, TP talks a lot about information. He just talks about playing for information, and that's totally what I do, too. Like, there's no... Sometimes you don't want to engage anybody. You just want to, you know, you just want to try to get an idea of what's going on. Like, over here, I waited all that time, and then I see the guy. I'm like, all right, I guess he's just going to hang out in there. But it's important to know what's going on. That way you can make a good play. Because if you don't have all the information about the play, then you might just make a bold play that, you know, gets you killed. And in this case, you know, I'm not advocating for playing the ultra slow game. That's what I used to play. and it's really boring, honestly, and it feels like a waste of time, and that's probably why I've gotten so upset at Blackout in the past and gotten so mad, is because it feels like a waste of time. That just was a bad grenade on his part. I mean, to be fair, if I had another trauma kit on, he would have got me down to 25, so I'd be basically almost dead, but... And that was a good one, too, so I burst a couple times at him, missed the second and third one or whatever, and then... This is a good play with the grenade. Now, not a good placement. Placement of grenade was fine, but placement for me, if he had had a grenade or a stone or something, he would have messed me up quick. Because I was just behind that tree and I didn't move anywhere. He knew right where I was. But that guy just shot on the run. I was missing a couple bursts. And then I took a second. See, I did it again there, too. After missing a burst or two, you need to stop and reset real quick. A lot of the guys that I watch will just continue firing and just hope for the best, and that's fine if you're good at controlling the recoil of the gun. But if you're not super familiar with the gun, or you know, it's at a distance or whatever, you might have to take a breath real quick and reevaluate. Look how low my sensitivity is. So what you'll see again here is me not being prepared to loot. I have too much loot, and when I go up to this bag to loot it, which I'm just making sure it's clear, I'm just making sure he's not coming back. And I go here to loot the bag, and, you know, I'm going to take the reds, obviously, and the grenade, and that ammo, and the stun, which I can't take now. That will see how much faster that loot was. Now, obviously, you go back for double dipping. That's not good. And the fact that my inventory was bloated, and I couldn't take the concussion, was also bad. I will always take concussions. When I go into a bag, I have one priority, and that's reds. And then the second priority would be attachments that I don't have on my gun yet, if my gun's not fully kitted. And in the past, I would just kind of cycle through and see which I needed to equip and all that kind of stuff. But just the last few days, this is one of the big changes I've made. Basically, what I do is when I'm not in a gunfight, like right now would be a perfect time, I would just hit start real quick, just check real quick which attachments I don't have. That way I know, hey, see, like, I mean, I'm not doing it here, but I can see it's fully kitted, so there's no reason to go for any attachments. And I'm dropping those because I'm like, yeah, this thing's working out fine. I'm going to drop those. Grapples, same. I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to drop those. And yeah, obviously then you go in the bag and you go reds. Armor plates I don't need. That was way too long. Sensor dart. And that was it. So now I'm out. So that was a much better loot. Obviously not ideal, but a much better loot. And both of those loots were better, except the one a minute ago I went back for seconds, which is not good. I was trying to get that concussion. But when I go into a bag, I already know ahead of time what attachments I need for which gun. And I keep a mental inventory of that. So I go, okay, I need an extended mag and I need an extended barrel. Just going to make sure there's no one in there real quick. That way, when you run up to the bag, it's just a quick tap, tap, and you're out. So what you should do is you get into the bag. The game is glitched, so it doesn't show the full first screen first. So every time I get into a bag, I go right bumper, left bumper, just real quick, go page over, page back. Then I grab the reds. You know, depending on how many, I usually take them all. Sometimes I'll take a trauma, but it's usually just like tap, tap, and then I go red, red, throwables immediately. So it's like frag, concussion, sensor dart in those orders. I'll take those. And then maybe ammo. And it's usually, I'll take 7.62 and 5.56 and then 9mm. And because I don't because I use submachine guns a lot as my secondary, and I don't use the snipers really anymore. What I've found is that there's tremendous downside to snipers. Like if someone pushes up on you and all you have is an AR and a sniper, you might just get wrecked. And there's not that much of an upside of a sniper, honestly, unless you're really good with it, unless you can just down a guy from ultra distance, which honestly doesn't even really matter because they're not going to see you from that distance. So, you know, they're just, again, within the last few days, I made that change too.
Circle collapse.
Stopped carrying snipers, and I mean, I've been carrying SMGs mainly, but I'm still at the point up until recently where I will still take a sniper if it's a Koshka or a outlaw, I guess, or a paladin. But that was my knuckle, huh? But keeping an SMG is way more upside to an SMG. If someone pushes you, someone tries to go aggressive and goes full send with a grapple coming at you, and you just blast them with an SMG, they come around the corner, they have no idea. You light them up. So I go in the bag, I go red, throwable, and then 5.5, 7.62, 9mm, I'm out. So you should be in that bag for like 3 seconds. And so just knowing ahead of time what you need helps it so that you get in there. Obviously, like something like a dead silencer, a consumer, I would consider taking. But it depends on, you know, how late it is in the game, what I'm doing, if I already have one of those. So, yeah, I mean, it's just making that change has helped me tremendously. And I've gotten 4 wins in the last 3 days after a really long drought. So it's funny because I just made it through second prestige. Took me 5 days of playtime, or first prestige, I mean. I had 17 solo wins when I finished my 0 prestige. So I only got 3 solo wins in the entirety of 5 days of playtime. Months, I only got 3 solo wins. So now it's accelerated, and I'm back up to getting more wins. And just, you know, having a clean inventory that's not bloated is a really big deal. It just really is, because it's really easy to look for exactly what you need and pick it up and not worry about it. And, you know, 21 reds is way too much. I probably would only carry 15 if I were doing it now. 15, maybe 1 trauma, and then 10 whites max. And that's it. So in this case, there's 3 people left. So I know basically it's like a triangle, okay? So when you get to this final stage of the game, it's like a triangle, because you know that no one's to your immediate left and immediate right. So they're going to be further out left or further out right. And then if you go to them, then they're going to have no one to their further right or further left. So you basically end up forming this triangle where the 3 of you are, I mean, obviously it's always going to be a triangle, but I'm just saying there's one guy to your left, one guy to your right. And so in this case, I'm waiting. I'm just sort of waiting because I don't have the high ground. And I know there's a guy over there to the right. But in a second, they start shooting at each other. And that's my cue. Go. Full send. You got to go. And so I get up here. I'm not going for that bag. I'm just running this direction at the tree. I get up here, I hear the right guy to the right. So I light him up, I can hear the sensor dart. Now I hear the guy coming to my left. So now I start cooking the grenade, and I'm going to throw it to the guy at the right, but the guy at the left pushes way up on me real fast. And then just like that, that's maybe one of the best plays I've ever had in Blackout, and it won me the game. So it was impeccable timing, just the way it worked out. You know, you've got to be able to think on the fly and make the right choices, and the right choice was to push because they were fighting and they were distracted, and I could make it up there without them knowing I was coming. And then I went for the guy on the right, and then I heard the guy coming from the left, so I retreated a little bit. Started cooking a grenade, thinking I'll grenade the guy. My thought was I was going to grenade the guy to the right behind the tree and then gunfight the guy to the left. But it ended up going in reverse because the guy on the left, I could hear him pushing me, so I had to adjust real quick, turn back, flick, throw at the guy coming to my left, happens to hit him perfectly, and then I immediately, like, when I threw it, I was like, okay, well, that's, you know, so then I start turning to the right, guy runs out from the tree, and I light him up, and he was making a play too. He heard us fighting, basically, so he pushed immediately quick, which is the same play I did before, but in this case, I was ready for him to push. So, you know, these are plays that, like, you can make, and you won't be able to make until you've played for a while, but, you know, having the inventory clear and full makes for really quick looting and makes it so that you can really just get in and out quick, and you basically stay more aware for the whole game. And that's really the issue I feel like with most Blackout games, and that's been my issue. You know, when you play a game where you only have 2 kills of the top 16, that means 90% of the game that you've been playing, 95% of the game, there's basically no action. So it's really easy to remove yourself from that action a little bit and sort of get complacent and just sort of be going through the motions, as opposed to where you're in a gunfight where you have these heightened senses the whole time. So I've been trying to stay in the moment more by having a clear inventory and knowing exactly what I need out of every bag. Makes the game much more fluid, makes the game feel much more fun, and I've been having way more success doing it. So thank you guys for checking this one out. I appreciate it. I will catch you in the next one. See you later. Scoot!